This is a short piece on Great Crested Newts and how to encourage good habitat for them. I've been creating ponds in the parish of Sonning for over 25 years now, and this is in fact the first one that I did in a very large property. And we did this around 26 years ago, and at that point in time there were no records of Great Crested Newt in the village. I then created another pond about 400 metres in that direction, and Great Crested Newts very quickly colonised that pond within the first year, and we discovered then that they had come from another pond in a private property further away. That pond had provided a stepping stone then for this particular pond, and a year later they moved in here. We've now got 8 ponds in the village, 4 of which have been specifically created for wildlife, all of which are colonised with Great Crested Newts, and we've probably got a better population of 1,000 or more across these 8 ponds, compared with probably just 50 or so in one pond originally. So great resilience in the population through creating ponds in a landscape with connectivity. So lots of connecting hedgerows and shrubbery and longer vegetation which they can move through outside of the breeding season. Now in this pond you can now see that some of the Great Crested Newt females have started egg laying, because you can see the rolled over and folded leaves of this greater spearwort, this broad-leaved plant, which at this time of year has underwater leaves, and you can see some of them have been creased and folded over. And I'll just show you one example. The folds are fairly loose, and inside the folds are tiny Great Crested Newt eggs, which in this case are just starting to turn into nymphs, which you can see. And so this is how they lay their eggs. They lay them singly in vegetation like this, and they will hatch out, turn into nymphs, and by the end of the summer, probably around July, August time, they will then leave the pond and disappear off into the surrounding vegetation, and usually come back to the same pond, but they will literally sniff out other ponds over a period of time, and that's how they spread. The really important thing is that these ponds must remain fish free. Whenever I do a wildlife pond for somebody, I will always say, well, one absolute condition is that we do not introduce fish, because Great Crested Newt nymphs spend a lot of time sitting in mid-water, hanging in mid-water, waiting for plankton and other small food items to come by, and they themselves then become food for fish because they're so conspicuous hanging there in mid-water. So yeah, fish-free ponds, lots of connectivity through the landscape, creating ponds within say 400 meters of each other, roughly speaking. If you do that around a pond where you know you've got Great Crested Newts, then you will get an increasing population. It's as simple as that.